welcome back to another video. In today's video we are doing the mid-year book freakout tag, and I've been tagged in this a few times by a few amazing people. I will link them down below. I love them so much and I am just so excited to be doing this. I'm a bit late to doing this. I won't tag anyone, but if you want to do it, definitely feel free to do it and definitely tag me, and I would love to see your videos because I love watching these myself. I look forward to it every year on BookTube. But let's get into it because there's a lot to cover and there's a lot of freaking out to do. So the first book is the best book you have read this year, and this was definitely a very hard decision to make, as I've read so many good books this year. I have read a lot of 5-star books and a lot of 4-star books, so it was a very nice pool to choose from. But I went with Lore Olympus. Even though I started them last year, I've just loved every single one of these so much, and I've really found a big appreciation for them, especially in this year. But also Tales from the Cafe, which is like the second book in The Coffee Gets Cold. This book kind of like changed me. Not really, but I loved every moment of this. I raved about it on a previous vlog, but everything about it just made me want to go to Japan, and I cried, felt all the emotions, loved every single story so much, and it just had a feeling about it that I don't get from a lot of books, and I really enjoyed it. Obviously I've enjoyed like a lot of romance books that I've read this year, but those two just definitely have had an impact, and I think about them on like a regular basis. So I decided to read more amazing books this year. I know that there's going to be more favorites. I'm very overwhelmed with that, but it's okay. The second question is the best sequel that you've read this year, and for this one I'm going to go with Twisted Games. It's the second book in the Twisted series. Twisted Love was great. I enjoyed it. There's a few things wrong with it. The ending wasn't great, but I still loved reading that. But I knew I was going to enjoy this one as it follows a different character, Bridget, and her bodyguard, and she is like a princess. So I knew that was going to draw me in straight away. But the way this book was done was just so much fun. I had the best time. I actually recorded myself reading a bit of it, which is in a previous video, like a 30-minute read with me, and you can definitely see my reactions to the sequel in that. So yeah, I just had a good time. I haven't read many sequels this year, so I had very limited choice to choose from, but yeah, I really loved this one. The third one is a new release that you really want to read but haven't, and for this one I'm going to go with In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. I'm so close to picking this one up. I just haven't yet. I got sent it as an ARC, and I've talked about this so many times, but I just love TJ Klune so much. The House in the Cerulean Sea was like my favourite book of last year, and I just love his books so much, and I need to get to it, but I still haven't, and I just hate myself for that. The fourth question is your most anticipated release of the second half of the year, and this is definitely an easy choice, as it is Free Me by Ashley Rose Tech, and it is the fourth book in the Witsex series, and it's the final book in the Witsex series. And if you know me and my bookish friends, they have raved about it a lot, and they dragged me into this, and now I'm in it. I'm waiting until August to read this, and it's next month, and I'm so excited. The last book left on like a really big cliffhanger, really scary, really intense, so this one is going to be amazing. It's going to really wrap it up well. The last 3 books were just incredible, had me hooked from the very beginning, and throughout the entire 3 books I was just encapsulated by this story. So I'm very excited to read it. I'm excited to read it with my friends, and it's just going to be a really good time. Number 5 is your biggest disappointment so far, and this would have to be Scarred by Emily McIntyre. I hosted a readathon or a read-along for Hooked, which is the first book in this series. There was a lot of people that really enjoyed it in this read along, and it was so fun to read it with everyone else. But me, along with a few other people that read it at the same time, didn't really enjoy Scarred, and yeah, I think I gave it 2 stars, and I just had really high hopes for it because everyone was saying it was their favourite book in this series. So I thought I was going to like it. At the start of the book, I had really high hopes because it sounded like something I would like. Lion King retelling. I love the Lion King so much. But it just didn't do it for me, and that's okay. The next one is new favourite author, and I don't know about this. I have read a few new authors this year, like Anna Huang, Lauren Asher, just those new romance TikTok books that I've been meaning to pick up for a long time and have finally done it, and I will now read pretty much anything that they release. Tessa Bailey I've always loved, but especially this year I have read a lot more of her books, so that's always nice. But yeah, I don't know, I've been kind of not reading very many new authors, so that one was a bit hard for me to decide. Speaking of romance, my next one for number 8 is newest crush, fictional crush, and oh my gosh, this is Reese Larson. Immediately I knew this answer. From Twisted Games, The Bodyguard. This man, I can't even say too much, but like, I need him in my life somehow. I've loved his character a lot, and very big crush vibes going on with that man. And I don't want to even think about it because I want to reread it. So moving on. Number 10 is a book that made you cry. I picked for this one Chain of Thorns, which is the 3rd book in our series by Cassandra Clare. Another Shadowhunter series that I adored and loved. And I still cried in this, and it was still a great time, emotional time, and just any conclusion to her series are very emotional, even though you know that they'll pop up somewhere along the line of another book. But yeah, I just adored this one and I didn't want it to end, so that was my main crying reason. But also Tales from the Cafe, as I explained earlier, and yeah, not much crying's happened this year. I've kind of been lucky with reading a lot of romance books in that way that it's not been devastating, so that's one perk. Number 11 is a book that made you happy, and for this one I chose Lore Olympus again because I am never sad reading this. I've always got a smile on my face. I've always just sat there for like an hour or so reading the entire graphic novel and just enjoying every single second of it, and then after I can't wipe the smile off my face because it just makes me so happy and I want more of it. Like, I love all of the characters in there and the entire story is just beautiful, and the artwork as well, it really makes me happy, so I had to choose that for this one. Also, Ice Planet Barbarians, I ventured into that realm this year because of Crystal. She enticed me into reading this or listening to it, and I've never looked back. I need to continue on with that actually, but it always makes me happy. It's always a fun time, very interesting plot as you go along in the series, and yeah, the romances are always so much fun. Number 12 is probably my favourite question here because so many of these have happened this year, and that is book to movie or TV show adaptation. Oh my gosh, Daisy Jones and the Six by far has to win this because it was the best thing I've ever seen. I enjoyed it more than the book, and I loved that book so much. This series I binged with Owen when it was like slowly coming out, but like we binged it instantly as soon as they come out, and everything about it was incredible. It made me want to listen. Like, I listen to their music now. That's how good it was. And I wish this band was real. I wish they did a tour, and there was talk of that, and I really hope it happens. But holy moly, I'm excited about that. I wish there was going to be a season 2, even though that couldn't happen, but I loved it so much. And I'm excited for like The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and like anything else that Taylor Jenkins Reid is going to adapt, because I think she gets it. Like, there's just some authors that really get how to adapt it. Obviously it's not all up to them, and a lot of things are very much out of their control, but she has done such a good job maintaining the book into this. And even though it was kind of written as a like screenplay, still it's just like like an interview. I think that's why it did so well, because of the fact that there wasn't too much they could miss out of it. But yeah, incredible. Number 13 is your favorite video you've created this year so far, and I'd have to say it's my bookshelf tour, or like setting up these bookshelves. I don't know, I did a bookshelf tour of my shelves before I got my new ones, and I really enjoyed doing that. I had a lot of like good response from it. Everyone really enjoyed it, and it brought a lot of people to my channel as well, because everyone loves a bookshelf tour. So that was nice. Also, going through my books, like that was a really good experience for me to see what I actually had on my shelf and what I hadn't read, and how well I knew my shelf and my books that were on it. So that was really like informative to me. But as always, I love doing vlogs. I love doing sprints so much with my friends, and yeah, just I haven't posted as much as I wanted to this first half of the year, but I really hope that I get into a routine. The consistency, that's what I need to maintain, and I find that really hard, but hopefully in this second half of the year I can do that. 14 is the most beautiful book I've bought this year. Hey, that is Laura Olympus. That, like, all of the books, I don't know, all of the books I buy are beautiful. The Laura Olympus covers and the art inside them definitely tops everything, and I can't go past it, so that's what I'm gonna go with. The last question is, what are the books that you need to read in the second half of the year? And literally everything. I don't even want to talk about it. It's a lot. Basically, I need to read all of my ARC books, which In the Lives of Puppets, Unfortunately Yours, Bone by Alexander Bracken, a few other ones like that. I really want to get to them, just haven't had the time and the mindset to do ARC books right now. I just want to kind of read for love, but it's just how it's gonna be. But the main one I would say is Kingdom of Ash, right up here. I have the last book left in the Throne of Glass series and I haven't read it yet. What's wrong with me? What is wrong with me? I think I'm kind of preparing myself for it, but we will get there. We will get there and it's going to be great. It's going to be a good time. And then also like it's companion series that I haven't finished as well, like the Twisted series, Dreamland, Billionaires, and that kind of thing. And also the Plated Prisoner series. I read the first book and didn't continue, but I want to. So they're kind of all up for contention. I don't think that I will get to them all, because there's other books coming out. There's Zodiac Academy that I want to read as well, and also I bought a lot of books recently, so that's a thing. And I'm planning on reading A Court of Thorns and Roses from now on, so it's a lot. Definitely freaking out. I have read nearly 50 books this year. No, that's a lie. That is a big fat lie. I've read nearly 40 books this year, I believe, and I wanted to get way past 50 if I could. I really did. So we'll see how we go. I still have a lot of books. Please pray for me. No, it's fine. I'm very excited, very happy, very privileged to be able to have the time to read and be able to read as well. So yes. But thank you to everyone for making the first half of this year on BookTube such a great year. I've had so much fun with doing reading sprints with you all and just interacting through my videos. It's been such a fun time and I've made so many friends, and this is like the first year that I've really committed to BookTube a little bit. So yeah, it's been a great time and I love you all. I hope to see you in my next video. Please let me know if you have read any of these books, if you're freaking out, and yeah, I'm excited to see the rest of everyone else's mid-year book freakout tags, because I love watching them. They're so interesting and I love everyone freaking out. So yeah. Anyway, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.